Welcome, everybody. We're excited that you are here. And I am Janice Thornton with JT Fitness and Golf. And we have Steve Woods. And we are excited to talk to you about your golf game, about how we can help improve your golf game through strength and mobility, but then also look at your mindset as well. And yeah, if you want to get on screen, that is fine, whichever works for you. So, Steve, do you want to kick us off a little bit and get us started?
Yeah, hopefully we'll get some more people coming in. Thanks, Janice. Yeah, hi everybody. I'm Steve Woods. We've only got a few of us in the room at the moment live. We'll keep an eye on the waiting room and let people in as they do arrive. But I was just saying to Janice, one of the things by offering the recording is often people go, "Well, I'll just have the recording. I can't be bothered to go on the day." So we've got about 35 people booked in, which is brilliant. So welcome everybody, whether you're watching this live or on the recording. Very quick introduction to me. I am a hypnotist. For those of you that don't know me, I've been doing hypnosis 21 years nearly now, and the last 8 years or so, particularly in the golf side. So I'm coming at this as from the mindset side of things, Janice from the physical side of things.
Mhm, mhm.
One thing we'll be doing a bit later, just as a preparation, particularly if you're watching this on the recording, we will be doing some eyes closed things. So only doing that part when it's safe for you to do so. So not driving, not operating machinery or doing anything that might be a danger to yourself or anyone else around you. So yes, we'll talk about maybe what we're going to get. Thanks, Janice. I can see you letting people in. I can see your eyes bobbing up to the screen there as that. So one of the things to think about really is what is your biggest frustration? So maybe pop in the chat. I better open up the chat so I can see it as well. But yeah, maybe pop in the chat if you want your biggest frustration around your game, whether it is mental, whether it's physical, really just to give you some ideas. Obviously, if you're doing this on the recording, don't pop in the chat because there isn't a chat there to do it. I'm going to mention about the free gifts, Janice. So what are you giving away at the end of this today?
Well, so I have a couple things. So I've got a free ebook, and I'll type in the chat my website for golfers over 50. I've got a great ebook on how to um, gain more yards. So if you go to JT Fitness and Golf, if I can spell, golf.com. I still can't spell.
Cool.
You can
Like I
download
said, we'll
your
put it on the
free
email
ebook.
anyway as well.
Yeah. And then I also have a on my website, I have a 4 screening golf fitness assessment that you are able to do. And if you want, instead of just doing the 4 assessment screening, which you do on your own, you can actually schedule a full golf fitness screening with me. Now, it is online, so it doesn't matter where you live. I can meet you anytime. So I can throw that into the chat as well. So Steve, what about you? What free things do you've got going on?
Well, we're going to be, we'll share the recording, of course, and the recording, the hypnosis part from my point of view, you can come back and do whenever you want to as well. So I'd always encourage people to come back and do that. And there'll also be a link in there. Some of you I know that's registered have already got my general golf self-hypnosis, but I'll put the link in there as well for that. And really, yeah, there's every month I'm doing some more recordings and things. So we'll just be keeping you up to date with those things. But yeah, aiming to get the recording out tomorrow with those links in there, and I'll put Janice's links in there as well. The email will come from me, I say at some point later on in the day tomorrow.
So it's
Okay.
interesting what's in the chat. So let's look, being
Mm,
clear about what I need to do with Keith, and then Maurice wants to keep focus during a round.
okay. So Keith, I'm not
So
sure whether
how,
that's physical or mental or both, probably, but hopefully we'll cover all of those things today. And
yeah.
Maurice, yeah, definitely, certainly, again, my side is mental. It is that mental side of it, the focus side. But I think as well, Janice, you probably agree that the mobility, they go hand in hand, really. Yes, they leave little gaps if you only do one or the other, and they definitely gel together, which is hopefully what we'll show today when we're running this
Yeah.
workshop.
Well, I feel like people don't really realize how when you have an injury or you lack mobility in your swing or something even hurts a little bit in your swing, how much that can actually affect your focus. and keeping you focused on, you're for 18 holes, if your knee is sore, it's you're not playing your best golf. Or if your back hurts a little bit, you're not going to be playing your best golf. And that's where I come in with my JT Fitness and Golf. I have an online personal training business, and I love to focus on helping people improve their strength, their mobility, and their balance. Because those are three core things that we really need when it comes to our golf game, especially as we get older. So, because I'm closer to 60 than I would like to be, I really want to be able to help people age backwards and be able to play golf well into their 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s. I have the pleasure of playing golf with a lady who is 94 years old at my club, and I marvel at her every single time I see her. Even though she doesn't hit the ball very far, she hits the ball down the middle. But I've asked her key, like, Jeannie, what is the key? What's the key to your success? And she goes, that I move every single day. So it's for her, it's all about movement. And so therefore I know I'm on the right track of I truly want to be able to help people improve their mobility. Because again, I'm looking to do this all for myself as well. I'm a little greedy. I want to be good also. And I need help with mobility like a lot of people. I need help with strength like a lot of people. So I like to pass on what I learned from myself and what's working to help with others that can work with you as well. And the one great thing about working out and strength training and mobility training, even as we get older, we're never too old to start. And I actually was talking with a gentleman the other day, and he goes, "Well, my mom, though, she's 70. It's too old for it's like it's too late for her to start." And I'm thinking, "Oh my God, are you kidding me? It's never too late for anyone to start." And I've worked with clients who are in their 80s, and I was able to take them to be able to do stuff that they could do for 30 seconds and then they could do it for 30 minutes. So I know all of this stuff works. So, Steve, do you want me to dive into pain and injuries and things like that? Should we go ahead and dive into that?
Yeah, we've got some bullet points to follow, everybody. We're both really passionate about what we talk about, though, so we've got these bullet points to keep us on track. So yes, Janice, over to you. Talk about those physical. Oh, you've already started, really, haven't you? Talking about those
Okay.
physical challenges, and then I'll talk through some of the mental challenges, and then we can get on to some real things that are going to make a difference for everyone.
Perfect. Okay, so I want to talk just real quick about pain and injuries because over time, these are caused by lack of mobility, and we then use other muscles or body areas to compensate. When we get compensations, of course, that over time is going to cause injury as well. I have a friend who had a hip injury, and just in her golf swing, she was always compensating. And then she was also compensating just in general life and then ended up with a hip replacement 3 times. So that's one thing that when it comes to our golf, we wanna make sure that we are, I gotta let someone in, there we go, that we are not compensating when, we are, playing golf and exercising. So every great swing starts with great movement, and we know that we've seen professional golfers who have an awesome swing. Rory is probably one of my favorites. Adam Scott is one of my favorite golf swings. Tiger Woods. You can put in the chat who's your favorite golf swing that you love. And I get it. They've got great mobility when it comes to their swing. It's not just strength. But most golfers are going to lose distance and consistency because of mobility restrictions, not necessarily weak muscles. And there's like to me, big three. There's still more than three, but there's a big three that are mobility limitators or limiters, and our thoracic spine is the first one. And when our thoracic spine, which is our upper back, if we don't have a good rotation in our upper back, therefore we end up with a shortened backswing. It reduces our coil and our power in our golf swing. Now, the other bummer with the thoracic spine, so if our upper back doesn't have good mobility for us to rotate, that's when our low back takes the brunt of everything. And this is when people will complain of low back pain. And when you have a thoracic spine that can actually rotate, therefore you're going to take pressure off your low back. Now, what happens is our thoracic spine is supposed to rotate. Now, because we have so many people who end up with desk jobs, they just sit around a lot. They're not really doing anything. They're driving. At least here in the United States, we're constantly in our cars driving. We're looking at our devices. We're not getting good thoracic mobility during the day. We just keep our spine in one little position all the time, which is not healthy. So our thoracic spine made to rotate. Our low back is made to go forward and backwards. That's what it's supposed to do. But if your thoracic spine can't do that, then you're asking your low back to like, hey, let's get some rotation in the low back. And it's like, no, thank you. I don't want to do that. That's not what I'm made to do. And then we start developing low back pain. So we want to avoid that. I'm going to show you some exercises in a bit on that will help with that. Your hips, that number 2 for mobility limiters. If we have tight hips, tight hip joints, this limits rotation and weight transfer in our golf swing. So when we do our takeaway, we want to transfer the weight to our back foot, and then we want to be able to push through and then get through our swing. But this also, if you have tight hips, that leads to poor sequencing in your golf swing. So you're not going to have a smooth takeaway and follow through. And then the third mobility limiter that I think is a big one are your shoulders. And a lot of people have restricted rotation, which causes tension and compensation throughout the neck area, or even that can transfer down into your low back as well. But then you end up with the neck pain, you end up with back pain and shoulder pain as well. So we want to definitely be working on all of these areas when it comes to increasing our mobility in our spine. Because think about our body. It is a chain reaction effect. If one area locks up, another one has to overwork. And usually this happens in the low back and knees. So even if our feet, we have issues with our feet, then guess what? Our entire chain going up through our knees, our back, our hips, our back, up into our neck are all connected. So if we, again, don't have good mobility in one area, another area is going to be affected. So it's kind of like your body's like a door with rusty hinges. And if one hinge sticks, the whole door, your swing, struggles to open smoothly. So we want to have this door working very well so everything works. And then I just want to go over a couple of golf connections. So if you have tight hips, a lot of times that will lead to an over the top swing or an inconsistent contact. If you have a tight thoracic spine, you might have a slice or a weak fade. And then if you have tight shoulders, this is tension in your swing, and we know we want to have no tension in our swing, so we can have good contact. And if you have tight shoulders, a lot of times that means you end up with a shortened swing because you don't have the mobility that you need. So mobility is your hidden power source. And when joints move freely, the body naturally finds more speed and balance without any extra effort. So that's the three thoracic or the three mobility kind of limiters that I wanted to go through. So Steve, why don't you take over?
Thank you very much, Janice. So now let's talk about the mental side, those mental challenges really in the game. And some of them are linked to the physical side as well, as you were speaking there, Janice. I was thinking that often things that certainly when people come to me, often part of what is holding them back is a fear of injury or a fear of damage or something that they've done. Not just in the golf world, but in all sorts of areas of life as well. So it is something that holds us back. But the most common things for me that are mental challenges are things like the yips, things where usually I'm looking at when I'm talking to people, it's about things where they're on the range, they can make great shots. But actually, then when it comes to having a scorecard, when it comes to being measured, now all of a sudden those shots aren't there. They're not there for some reason. So the skill set is there, the ability, but actually then the mind gets in the way to block it. So that then results in confidence issues, it results in nerves, it can result in the yips, it can result in physical things. The very first thing that got me into working with golfers was a golfer that I was introduced that had got the dreaded S word. And the way they talked about it was that other people would catch it if they heard it, other people would catch it if they saw it. And to me, as a hypnotist, that was like, wow, yeah, this is massively. I didn't know a great deal about golf back then, massively in the head before anywhere else. So there are many, many ways that that mental side of it challenges you. The reason it does that, and I'll talk a bit more a bit later, just before we do our session, but the reason it does that is because the mind is trying to protect us. Its main job, the inner part of the mind, is to protect us, to keep us alive, and it treats even the potential of humiliation or the potential of embarrassment, it treats that as if it's something that's going to eat us. That's the belief that's come from psychology. And so yeah, that it can be seeing a video of something happened to somebody, it can be something's happened to someone else in your golf group, it could be something that has happened to you, and then when you're in a similar situation again, the mind is running these protection routines and going, is this safe? Is this safe? Oh no, it's not safe. And then it will create anxiety. Then it will create tension. Again, back to some of the things you were saying, Janice, about freedom of movement. If we're tense and we're anxious, we don't get the freedom of that swing anyway. But that's the mind that's holding that side of it back. So there's lots of areas that are interconnected with the physical, and often physical effects as well from that. And of course, the other side of it is what you're actually telling yourself when you stood there on that shot, that first tee shot or any shot. I was at a dinner one night, a sporting dinner type thing, and the guy sat next to me said, oh, I'm a golfer, and he said, why does it always go right off the tee? You know, or a certainty, I think it was. Why does it always go right? And I said, what are you saying to yourself just before you hit the ball? He said, I stand there, he says, and I try so hard not to go right. I'm saying to myself, don't go right, don't go right, don't go right. And of course, if you think about right, you'll start to almost feel as though you're going to go right. And that's where all the attention is going. So the thought of, oh, don't go in the trees, don't go in the water. And again, it's quite common for people to say, oh, you know, I always go in the water, always go in the water. I always, you know, actually, they're probably saying don't go in the water. And that's a surefire way of ending up going in there. Really quickly, and then I'll hand back to you, Janice. I do a lot of work with blind golfers, so I support the England and Wales Blind Golf Charity here in the UK. And we had an interesting conversation with guides because they have a guide to talk them through the shot, to point them in the right direction, everything. And we said, well, actually, the guide doesn't need to tell the golfer that there's water. They don't need to know. They only need to know from that sort of, I was going to say, almost visual perspective, for them to imagine it, or there's water here and there's trees over this side and all the rest of it. But in reality, from their shot, they only need to know it's this distance. Your target is this distance away. I'm lining you up to it. They might need to know if they've got to get over some trees and they've got to get some particular height. Yes. So it's interesting that actually when the golfer, any golfer, whether they're sighted or not, when they focus more on the target, that's what the mind is actually focusing on. And a lot of golfers will talk about being right down to the blade of grass, even though they can't see that blade of grass off the tee, imagining a blade of grass as that landing point. So turning all those negative things into more positive thoughts. I'm going to hand back over to you, Janice, now, because you're going to do some real movement and stuff now, I believe, for us. And then we'll come back and I'll be doing my hypnosis-y bit. So we'll go from moving around to being sat very still and quiet. Over to you.
Okay, so I do want to comment on yes, when the ball always goes where you say you don't want it to go. I have a girlfriend that she is a 5 handicap. She's my partner for any member guests that we have. However, when I'm with her, I always have to remind her because she'll give me a dissertation of where not to hit the ball. And then I'll be like, oh, where would you like me to hit the ball? Even though I already know down the middle. And she'd be like, I want you to hit the ball down the middle. I'm like, why didn't you just tell me that in the first place? I don't need all of this other crap. And I also, oblivious is bliss. Being oblivious is bliss for the blind people. That's amazing because I just played in Wisconsin, Sand Valley, which if you've never been to Wisconsin, never been to Sand Valley, you need to come, make it a guy's trip. And I had a caddy, and I would just be like, give me the target. I don't need to know what's around me, what bunker to avoid, whatever. Give me the target And he did all day long. I would all of a sudden find like, oh, there's a bunker over there I wanted to avoid, or oh, thank God I missed that bunker. But he only told me where to hit. And that's what I did. I ended up shooting 80 that day. So when you can just focus on where you and commit to your target line, don't worry about all this other crap. You'll hit that ball where you want it to go. So anyway, okay. So I want to go over 4 different areas that, and if you guys want to stand up and do this with me, feel free. Um, or if you just want to watch that and take notes, that's fine as well, whatever you'd like to do. I know it's only 11 o'clock here in Arizona. So if you've been sitting most of the day, I urge you to get up with me, and I'll just be adjusting my camera as I go along. And I've got my little notes of what I want to cover. Okay, so can you all still hear me well from back here? Because we are perfect. Okay. So the first area I want to go over is pelvic rotation, because we want to make sure our pelvis actually can move. So if I'm sideways, we want to make sure we can go forward and back, that we can go side to side, kind of like for in a barrel. We want to be able to do all that. So the first exercise I want to show you is a pelvic tilt, because this exercise is what powers your golf game. So when we are in a golf swing, when we do our takeaway, and when we want to get into our downswing, we want to be able to move this pelvis and really dive into hitting the ball at impact. So pelvic tilt, the first thing I want you to do is just take your hands across your chest. I'm going to turn sideways to you. Slight bend in your knees. All I want you to do is literally put an arch in your back, stick your butt out, and then tuck your pelvis under, flatten your back. Stick your butt out, and then flatten your back. Go back and forth with this move and get a nice arch in your back. You're like, ooh, I've got a big arch, and then tuck it under. Now, with this, if you have a struggle with this, you feel like you're moving at the knees or you're not really even moving your pelvis, we need to talk. Get on my calendar. We can talk. Now, I want you to get into golf position. So bend over, hinge over like you're going to hit a 7-iron. So I want you to hinge over, put those arms across your chest, and then now I want you to pelvic tilt. You're going to arch and tuck, arch and tuck. Now, for some people, they end up bending their knees a little bit more when they do this, or they'll find that they're shaking in their upper body. They might be shaking in their legs. And with it, that means that you are lacking a little mobility in this pelvic area. And we want to have our low back nice and strong. And this movement right there will help you strengthen your low back. And it gives you nice mobility just to do this. This is a great exercise to do if you've been sitting all day and your low back is a little bit tired. Just stand up and start doing some pelvic tilts forward and back. The other thing you can do is if you have a hard time doing this standing, lay on the floor to do this. Keep your butt on the floor and just put an arch in your back. Act like you can put your hand underneath your back and then press your low back to the floor. You're going to feel that you want to feel like you can't pull your hand out and that your back is 100% against the floor. Practice that, and you're going to love how your back feels. Okay, so now we want to look at thoracic rotation, our upper back. A lot of times we don't have a lot of good movement in our thoracic spine. And I'm going to tell you, I am one of those people who I have better rotation on my right side than I do my left side. And I'm going to show you with this next exercise. So one little test you can test yourself with this is getting in that golf posture, that 7-iron position, hands across your chest. Now, what I want you to do is just rotate your upper body side to side. Now, with this, you want to keep your hips straight and make sure you're not kind of rocking all over the place. I see a few of you kind of just, the man in blue, I think, is sort of getting it. The other two, you're kind of getting your hips involved. We want to do just your upper body with this. Okay. Okay. So now this is going to be a great exercise that will wake up your back. I love this stretch. It's called the A-frame stretch. And this is a great exercise that you can do when it comes to, if you've been, again, sitting all day, driving in your car, all of that. It's also going to help really open up your thoracic spine. So what you're going to do is you're going to get into, your feet are going to be shoulder width apart. You're going to take your left hand, put your elbow and your hand between your knees and squeeze your knees together, because I want you to isolate your hips. We're going to get your hips to stay solid in this position. And then you're going to take your right arm, you're going to put it straight down, and then let's rotate that arm up toward the ceiling, and then go as far as you can, keeping your knees squeezed together, because this opens up your thoracic spine. Bring your arm down and then go back up. So with my right side, I'm able to get up to the ceiling. So now I'm going to show you, this is where I need improvement. When I go to my left, when I go up, I don't have the same range of motion with this. So that means I need to work on my left side of my lats, my thoracic spine with all my rotation, my hips when I do that exercise. So type in the chat what you think of that exercise, because I know my friends, when I show them that exercise, they love it. You could be like, Janice, I love it. I need work with it. It's not my favorite. I won't be offended. Okay. Cervical rotation. This is our neck. And this one's easier, and I can actually get closer so you all can see. So our neck is important because in the golf swing, when we are doing a takeaway, if our neck is stiff, you need to be able to keep your head. We're supposed to be able to keep our head straight down, looking at the ball and rotating around. If you look at the best golfers, their head is staying steady. But if you don't have good cervical rotation, then your head goes with you, and then all of a sudden you might be lifting up in the backswing because you don't have good rotation there. So this one's going to be easy. You want to keep your shoulders down the entire time. It's easy to lift your shoulders up on this next exercise because you want to be able to do this test. So all you're going to do is literally just turn your head to the side, and then take your chin, try to touch your clavicle, your collarbone, and then come up and back to center, and then go to the other side and come down. Now I'm a lot more stiff on my left. Come back up, and you might find that you're more stiff. Let's do the right. Come on down. You might be more stiff on one side than the other. That's normal. And then let's go to the left. Over and down. Now, if you want to help improve that even more, when you go over to the, say to the right side, you can just take your hand and gently pull your chin over. And then when you go down, just gently pull your head over and then come back up. Just use your hands gently to help give you a little more resistance when you do that exercise. That's a great way to open up your neck. And then also, I love just doing neck circles in all the way around. And then just to help relieve tension in your neck, and then always make sure you go both directions when you do this. And then shoulder rolls back also is a great release of tension in our neck area. Okay, and then, oh, I did the pelvic tilt. Oh, I know what I didn't do, pelvic rotations. So we did this, where we did upper body, like this. Okay, so now I want you to stand again. This is the last one, because now we want to get separation of your lower body from your upper body. And so if you can rotate your hips side to side, standing. So we don't want to swing. We're not swinging our hips side to side. We're actually rotating side to side. And then you want to get into golf posture also and rotate. Because guess what? In our golf swing, this is what we're supposed to be doing when we go side to side. So if you find that you're kind of going this way, you need help with your mobility in your hips in that area. What kind of questions does anyone have any questions that you can think of? Or you can think of them and put them in the chat and we can go do that at the end. Whichever you'd like. Steve, are you ready?
Just waking, dear, excuse me, just waking my mouse up. Yes, I am ready. Yeah, good to get some feedback, guys. If you want to drop anything in the chat, you're more than welcome. It's always good to see how we go. We'll have time at the end as well for some Q&A.
Yep.
I mean, we build this for an hour and a half, but we'd probably be nearer to the hour, and then some time for questions as after that point. But we'll see how it goes really as well. But yeah, you happy, Janice, with everything you've done there? It was really good. I couldn't do the standing ups because I haven't got enough room behind me, but that's my excuse anyway. But I could do the sitting down one. So
Okay, so I'm going to actually switch my computer around physically because I want to sit in my comfy chair, not on my exercise ball.
okay,
So if you see me move, that's
absolutely fine. Brilliant. Okay, thanks everybody, and thanks Janice for that. That's really interesting actually. I was doing the neck ones, and I can definitely feel my neck is quite tight actually as well. So it's quite interesting. Okay, so back to the mental side of things, and in a minute or two we are going to do some eyes closed for a little while as well, which is probably certainly again from on my side probably one of the most important bits certainly for you to take away. But let's talk a little bit more about those blocks, those things that are holding you back, and why hypnosis makes a difference. So I talked before about the protection part of the mind, running these scenarios of don't go here, don't do this, and it can start as something very simple. Like I say, it can even be something that happens to somebody else. And what tends to happen is we get a feeling of anxiousness when we're then going to make a shot or do something in life. We don't really know what that's for. It's our mind putting us into fight or flight mode, in actual fact, again, to try and keep us safe. But we battle through it and we keep battling through it. And it's like generally slowly gets worse and worse. And then it will often manifest then in more physical things as well, like the yips that it tends to cause, or just that lack of enjoyment, really, which is, enjoyment is a really important part of the game. The good news is, though, because of that protection system, we can change the way that it reacts by giving it new memories. And this is where the hypnosis side of it comes into it. And forgive me, because I know some of you that's registered for this have already heard all this as well, but it's all about getting to the inner mind. So it sits, the protection side of it sits in the inner mind, and under normal circumstances, that is filtered by the conscious mind. So I'm talking to your conscious mind right now. And if I said to you, all right, just close your eyes and imagine some great golf shots, conscious mind will go, I don't get that. That'll never work. What a load of rubbish. And it will never let it pass. So my aim as a hypnotist is to help you relax that conscious mind out of the way, get to the inner mind, the subconscious, and the subconscious then generally accepts whatever gets to it. So asking the subconscious to start to visualize or practice or rehearse, however you want to think of it, what success looks like and feels like, actually it starts to create new memories. And there's been measurements of brain activity done on people when they're in hypnosis or when they're meditating, when they're visualizing something really strongly, and they can see the memory centers light up. They can't see what the scanners aren't good enough to see what those memories are. So we have to assume the memories of what they're imagining, what they're practicing, but they literally switch on at that point. So we know that you're creating memories. So what happens then is we create some new memories around great golf shots, around great confidence. In a lot of cases, maybe remembering a great golf shot, which is what I'll talk about today, because it's a nice general way to do things. It's not about being really specific with things. So getting you to visualize maybe a great golf shot or a great game or a great hole from the past. And then it's creating those new memories. So when your mind checks in next time you're on the golf course, it'll go, what happened last time? Oh, actually, it went really well. I made some great shots. I remembered how things were and created new memories around it. So then it starts to feel better about things. It starts to feel better about confidence. It starts to feel better about flow. you start to feel a bit more relaxed on the course. And again, which then helps with the physical side of things, because now I'm more calm, I'm more relaxed, I'm not holding myself tense. Things like I mentioned before about protection from injury, those are slightly different. It makes a difference being more relaxed, but it's often about visualizing then how things are without that injury and how you used to be able to play really well. But again, it's still the same principle. It's about creating those memories. What I'll try and do today in today's session is to, I don't like the word try, but I will be endeavoring to do in today's session, is to keep it deliberately vague so that you can use it in exactly the right way for you. And again, I'd encourage you, well, two things to come back and do already. One will be this session, but also to come back and do the exercises that Janice went through. So coming back and using the recording, because the more you use the hypnosis, like using exercise, and the brain is a muscle after all, and there's been lots of talk about us being able to develop parts of the brain by working it. So coming back and doing both exercises really, and re-practicing what you're going to be working on today. So I mentioned about getting to the subconscious mind. I mentioned about relaxing the conscious mind out the way. So what we're going to be doing today is getting you to go to a nice relaxing place first of all. Now this place doesn't need to have any bearing on golf. It doesn't need to have any bearing on what we're working on. It can, but doesn't need to. So the process will be to talk you through a nice head to toe type relaxation, bit of counting, bit of breathing, probably all the things that you would expect from getting into a relaxed state, a hypnotized state. Get you in your mind to go to a really nice place. And in that really nice place, to create your place and to get all your senses firing. So really reaching out, touching things, tasting things, smelling things, temperature and all those things, with the aim that when you've got all those things working, then getting you to step up onto the course and to be doing the things that you want to be doing, to be playing the way you want to play or playing the way you have played, will feel very real. You'll be in a more focused state. Now, hypnosis is just that, it's focus. It doesn't have to be relaxing. You can actually be hypnotized standing up, but you'd probably feel a bit cheated now. You're expecting to have a nice sit down now after Janice's exercise. If I said, right, stand up everybody now, you're going to be hypnotized, yeah, generally we feel a bit cheated, because actually we expect that relaxation. So we go down that route to say, get all your senses firing. A few things to mention as well. You never lose awareness when you're in hypnosis. You'll hear sounds around you. Hopefully you won't hear any sounds around me, but if you did, that's fine. If there's an emergency, anything that you need to deal with where you are, become aware and alert and able to deal with it. And as I mentioned before about the only doing this bit, particularly on the recording, when it's safe for you to do so, so not driving or operating machinery. So yeah, you'll be aware of sounds around you. You might even get those stray thoughts. I'm sure that all of you have had those thoughts while you've been listening to myself and Janice already, thinking, oh, I must remember to do that thing tomorrow. I must go and do that thing when I finish, must send that email. Even in a relaxed state of hypnosis, those thoughts can still come in. And it's important to know that, because actually you could end up in a situation where you're sitting there thinking, why am I thinking about that thing? Does that mean I'm not hypnotized? And then you spiral out of it all and get no results. So accepting that those thoughts might happen, but if they do, you can literally put them to one side, come back to what we're doing. And I'll mention that as we go through the induction part. Physically as well, not going to be sat still for very long, but if your leg goes numb or something goes numb or feels uncomfortable, you can fidget, you can move around. It's not a fragile process. You're not going to break it by needing to move around. And like I say, even if you'd be alive, if you have to move around, that's fine anyway, because you're going to come back and do the recording, and you'll get better at it once you come back and do the recording each time as well. Your mind will know what to expect. Last thing really is to try not to try, which might seem a strange thing to say. But if you're trying too hard, if you're sitting there right now thinking, right, I've really got to fix this issue, I'm going to go play golf tomorrow, then you may end up trying too hard, because you're involving that conscious mind too much. So what I want to do is just let that conscious mind relax out the way, as I mentioned, and then allow yourself to follow through with it, to follow through the process, and just follow my instructions really. So let's get started. So for now, for this time, you just need to be sitting comfortably somewhere, like say, where you're okay to close your eyes. Your feet can be up, they can be on the floor, it doesn't matter. You can be laid down as well. it is a relaxing experience, and I'm always mindful when people are laid down, you might drift off to sleep. So I find that sitting is often better, but as you get better at doing it, as you come back and do the recording or the other recording I would send out to you, it's fine to do it laying down as well. So finding that somewhere comfortable, somewhere where you're okay to close your eyes, as I've already mentioned a few times, and then ready to follow my instructions now. So closing your eyes down and letting your imagination start to think about the little muscles that are in your cheeks, those muscles in your face, and imagining those muscles relaxing. Imagining those muscles getting soft, getting lazy, getting relaxed. You might tense them up and let them go. You might just imagine them relaxed and lazy and wobbly like a jelly even. There really is no wrong way for you to do this. Whatever way you do this is absolutely right for you. Eyelids starting to relax as well. Those eyelids getting nice and lazy, nice and heavy, nice and relaxed. Those eyelids so lazy, so heavy, so relaxed now that you don't want to, but even if you did want to, you just wouldn't be able to open your eyes. That's good. And then taking that feeling from behind your eyes, letting it move up over your forehead, up over the top of your head, down the back of your head, down into your neck, down into your shoulders. It's a wonderful warm band of relaxation, relaxing every nerve, every muscle, every fiber as it moves. As every deep breath, every firm beat of your heart now, helping to slow things down. You allow that feeling to continue to move, moving down through your arms, a nice warm band of relaxation, down into your lower arms, all the way down to your hands, to your fingers. That same feeling then moving down through the center of your body, from your neck, from your shoulders, right down through the center of your body, all the way down into your legs, down through your legs, down into your lower legs, all the way down to your feet. And from your feet, just letting that feeling escape into the floor, into the air, depending on where your feet are, and noticing that next great wave of relaxation, head to toe, following it down. And starting to think about a wonderful place, a perfect place. If you're coming back and doing this on the recording, going back to the place you've already used, doing this for the first time, allow yourself to go to a place. Place can be somewhere real, somewhere imaginary, somewhere you've been to, somewhere you'd like to go to. It's your special place. Just you can go there, just you and the sound of my voice. Remembering it doesn't need to be anything to do with golf. Can be, but doesn't need to be. It's just your place to go to in your mind. A place where you can let all your senses start to work. Safe in the knowledge as well that if your mind does wander to other thoughts while you're in this session, you can just grab it, bring it back, and each time it comes back, it will come back with more focus, more awareness, able to stay focused for longer. As minutes feel like hours in this place today, as you just let go. Never losing control, never giving up awareness, just being able to let go. Aware of the textures in your place, those things you can reach out and touch, things that you're naturally in contact with, whether sitting, standing, laying down in your place. Aware of the temperature, it's perfect, the sounds, the smells, everything about it. Safe in the knowledge as well that if there is anything urgent that you need to deal with where you are, anything happens that needs your attention, become aware and alert and able to give it the attention that it needs. If anything happens with our internet connection or the recording, again, becoming aware and alert and able to reconnect or restart the recording to deal with the issue. But we don't need to worry about that right now. Right now, I'm just going to count down from 10 down to 1. Each number down, letting you step a level deeper, letting you sink a level deeper, whatever that level is for you today. If you find yourself into it, going into that nice relaxed, or even back into that nice relaxed feeling, nice high focus, starting at 10, feeling that step down to 9, stepping down to 8, every nerve, muscle fibers relaxed, it's lazy, it's heavy. Stepping down to 7 and 6. Still enjoying that wonderful place of yours, that perfect place, just sinking down deeper and deeper down. Stepping down to 5 and 4. Every out breath letting you sink a little bit deeper into whatever you've chosen to rest on today as it gets softer and softer, more and more comfortable, down to 3 and 2. All the way down to 1, nice and relaxed, nice and comfortable, nice and calm. Enjoying that place, getting all of those sensations of being there, remembering what I was just talking about, that when you're in this nice relaxed state, when you visualize something, you rehearse something, some great golf experience, it feels very real. Feels as though you're there, releasing the happy hormones, the great chemicals, and more importantly than anything, creating new memories. So let's do that now. Let's step up from your place, up onto the golf course. Great day, great weather, great conditions, great company. Maybe even remembering a great shot or a great game that you've played in the past. You can access all your memories as you relax further down. So letting those great feelings of great memories, or you imagining how you want things to be, but be on the course. Be moving through your game. Be making, recreating shots in the way you want them to be. You might focus on a particular part of the game. You might focus on some particular aspect of your game. This is about you going to wherever you want to go in that future time, as if you're there right now. That's the feeling. Repetition is king, so don't worry about playing shot after shot, even if it's the same shot that you're playing. It might be that you think of a troublesome hole or a troublesome shot that you have on your regular course. Go to it now, but play it in the way that you always know you should do. You always know that you want to. Great movement, great freedom of movement, great physical feelings. Focusing on success. Now you can be yourself, club in hand, feeling that connection, feeling that contact with the ball, whether it's the short game, whether it's that long end of the game, those longer shots. But also you can step out. You can step back and watch yourself as if you're watching yourself on a video or on TV, or if you're just another golfer watching yourself make some great shots. If need be, slow it down. If need be, take control of it. This experience is under your control. Focusing on success, focusing on you being that you that you want to be right now. Letting go of negative thoughts, embracing those positives. If something doesn't look or feel right as you're doing this, stop, change it, make it right. It's your experience. Practice, practice, practice. Say, go back in time if you need to grab some great memories and bring them into this future time. Or just create it, or a combination of the two, where you're creating a great future shot or game, but you're also bringing in those memories of some great course or great shot or great game that you've played. It's your experience. I'm being deliberately vague, as I mentioned, because I want you to get what you want to get from this. And the more you practice this, the more you come back and do this recording or the other recording I'm going to send out to you, the more this becomes easy and natural and normal, really, to do. Yes, there are very specific techniques sometimes around parts of the game, but right now, this visualization, this practice in your mind will give you a change when you're on the course. It will start to make things different. Practice, practice, practice. You might have a particular game coming up. Spend some time thinking about that. How you want it to be. Not how you've been feeling about it, not how you may be expecting it to go when we first sat down today to do this workshop, but how you want it to be. Again, let your mind create it. Be there, club in hand, feeling that great contact, that great connection, that gentle put or that wonderful flowing drive. Practice success. Practice the way you know things should be, the way that you want them to be. And then grabbing all of those thoughts, those feelings, those successes, grab them, make them yours, hook them into you, squeeze them into you, bring them back into your place. And take a moment or two to let those feelings soak in. Every cell, every part of you taking on these changes, every cell, every part of you smiling and happy, down to the tips of your toes, tips of your fingers, top of your head, every part of you. Looking forward to being out there on the course, feeling good. And then just being in that place of yours. Again, for a moment, soaking up some calm, soaking up some tranquility, soaking up that background energy recharge, that battery recharge feeling, as if being in this place for hours today. Because in a moment or two, I'm going to count, this time from 1 to 5. On the count of 5, and only on the count of 5, you'll smile, you'll stretch, you'll open your eyes, becoming fully wide awake, fully alert, feeling really good, feeling really well. Feel as though you just had a really good sleep. Not been to sleep just yet though, just been relaxed, just been hypnotized, just been highly focused, so that when you do come back to being eyes open in a moment or two, you have that great energized feeling as if coming back from a wonderful sleep. Subconscious mind, that inner part of your mind, remembers every moment of this session. Conscious mind, as much as it would do from any conversation, that's fine, because the changes come from the subconscious. As I mentioned, that inner part of the mind is where we're making changes today. And often it just feels normal to feel different about things. Generally feeling good, maybe even better than you felt for some time. So 1, feel a little less relaxed. 2, feel that surge of energy now through your body, whole body becoming energized as that energy level builds up. 3, take a deep, deep breath of cool, clear mountain air, filling your lungs with life-giving oxygen. 4, feel cool, clear mountain spring water wash the backs of your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your throat. Your chest clear, your stomach's clear, and your head's clear. Your nose, your mouth, and throat's clear. Your eyes are bright and shiny. And 5, it's open, wide awake. Stretch and smile. Welcome back. Okay, so that's an example of hypnosis. It's an example, if you've not done it before, of that getting into that subconscious mind and creating a new reality, really, is what we're doing. And there are some very specific things that you can do as well. What I would say is, come back and do that, because it's really important to come back and repeat that, because the more you're practicing it, the better you get at doing it, most definitely. I was going to mention that, yeah, specifically, you can do some very specific techniques. Obviously, we within the capacity of what we're doing here, we haven't got the time, and everyone is different as well. For me, hypnosis is about helping people get in the zone. I can see your question there, Janice. So it's about helping people get in the zone, and the zone is that flow state. The zone is that time you've hopefully you've all experienced it where you've stepped up to make a shot and you've probably been chatting. You've not really been thinking about what you've been doing. You've just stepped up and made a shot, and then someone else has gone, "Wow, Steve, that was an amazing shot." And you go, "Wow, okay, yeah, how did I do that?" That's where you've played subconsciously. That's where you've used muscle memory. Often people talk about muscle memory, and because you know how to make a golf shot, you've learned how to do it. The problems start when you try and overthink it, or you're too tense, or your movement's gone as well. But it's where you've overthought it. So if you're not thinking about it, then actually it flows. So what we're trying to do is create that zone individually. We work on creating the zone, create a trigger word or something that you're going to go right in my routine. I'm going to do this thing. When I do this thing, yeah, get into that flow state. I go into subconscious state where I'm doing it without even thinking about it. That's what we're looking to recreate. That also serves really nicely then as a reset as well. So when it gets to the end of every shot, can step out and reset. Because people talk about, and I used to be a big fan of only resetting from bad shots. Yeah, the shot's gone wrong, or let's reset, let's leave it behind, can't change it. But actually, a really good shot can be just as destructive because now I'm starting to play too far ahead. Again, not just about golf, but a lot of sports where now I'm thinking too far ahead because I'm thinking I'm going to win this. I'm going to get $10 off each of my mates here or whatever it might be. So I can, I can afford a few drinks tonight or take the wife out for a meal or whatever. So you're playing too far ahead. So to me, it's about getting you resetting from every shot and then playing literally shot at a time, being present and mindful in each shot. So yeah, if you want to tap any feedback from that, great. Or we'll have some time, for, say, for some questions and answers in a little bit. But that brings me to the end of my demonstration bit. I'm just looking down our list of things to do, Janice. We've got to talk about how we bring all this together now, really, into best results. I think we've probably covered some of this as we've been talking, really, certainly from a relaxation point of view, as is often the things with these things where we make a plan, and of course it all drops into different bits of it as well. One thing we did say we were going to talk about is maybe some case studies and example stories. Again, I've sort of intimated a little bit about those. I'm going to hand over to you, Janice, to talk about that while I stop for a minute because everyone's probably fed up of hearing my voice.
No, I doubt it. No, I thought I loved the hypnosis, and I find myself like I have to make sure I focus on I like during that I was actually taking myself through my course of the holes that I have a struggle of like a second shot because a par five I have a few holes that I struggle. So I was actually visualizing that great shot for myself of so I'm trying to get myself on every hole, all these great shots of on every shot that
Hmm.
I can, because really I should be able to shoot 59. Don't we all think we should be able to shoot 59 at our golf courses? I mean, come on. We can I
Of
always
course.
think I've birdied every hole at my golf course. Of course, not at the same time. At the same time, that's what I try to focus on is I know I can par a birdie every single hole. And so when I have a horrible round and shoot a 90, it drives me insane. Because I'm like, I'm a good golfer. So it's like that. I have to get myself to focus though, or I find if I'm chatting too much during my round of golf, guess what? My score is elevated for
Hmm.
sure. I'm not having a low round that day. When I talk less, I do better. So anyway, okay, so
Yeah.
let's tie all this together. So yeah, when it again, when it comes to playing a great round of golf, the better shape that we are in, the more mobile that we are, the stronger that we are, we're going to have less injuries. And that is what we definitely want to prevent. Because unfortunately, as we get older, it's easy to have that injury, and we don't want to have that. So, making sure, I guess, some key tips I have for you is it's not like you have to spend hours in a gym every single day. You don't. You can easily do 10, 15 minutes here and there, even if like you're at work and you need to take a 5 minute break, get up from your desk and do some stretches just to get some blood flowing back into your body instead of sitting all day long. Plus, at least my butt gets tired if I sit on it all day long. And there really is a thing called sleepy glutes. Tiger made it famous years ago, but if we do not have our glutes are like king of the swing. And if you don't get your glutes to fire, you're not, that's when we slide and we sway. I have a tendency in my swing to slide and sway. My husband will tell me, "You're dancing with your driver." I'm like, ugh, I hate when he tells me that because that means I'm not loading my backside. That means my glutes are not doing anything. They're just going along for the ride. Um, but that's where that pelvic tilt is going to come in because you can activate your glutes with that pelvic tilt and a glute bridge. But let's talk about that later. Um, but yeah, so make sure that you are getting some mobility exercises in. Make sure you're getting some strength training in twice a week, maybe even 3 times if you can. But if twice a week is all you have time for, that is great for strength training for and do a full body workout. You're gonna nail it. And then again, but also work on some balance exercises. You want to work on the mobility exercises and strength. So it's easy to throw in balance exercises though into your workouts because let's say you're just doing a bicep curl, stand on one leg. Let's say you're at brushing your teeth, stand on one leg while you do it. If you are cooking and chopping up some food for dinner, stand on one leg and chop up that food. Make yourself work and you're working on balance as you do it. So there's just ways to throw in daily activities, daily activities that you can do that are going to help improve your golf game. And they're simple like that, brushing your teeth and balancing. Or if you are watching television, get down on the floor and do some stretches while you're watching TV. Instead of just sitting in your lazy boy or on the couch, get down on the floor and do some stretches. Your body will thank you. Even before you go to bed, use your bed, put your leg up, put your foot up on the bed and do a hamstring stretch before you jump into bed. Just to wake up the backside of your body before you like wake it up so you can go to sleep. Because a lot of times we carry so much tension in our back and in our hamstrings that doing that hamstring stretch before you jump into bed, or even if you lay in bed and extend your legs straight up in the air, stretch it out a little bit, do some ankle rotations before you climb into bed. Any of that is all going to help your body, but it's going to help your golf game. Again, I want all of us to age backwards so we can play this game that we love. And I guess that's about it. Steve, back to you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you for that. The only thing I was going to say was we don't take any responsibility for kitchen accidents. So I've just got visions of me standing on one leg trying to cut things up. Could all go terribly wrong. So yeah, we can't accept any responsibility for that.
Stand
From
close
my
to the
point of
counter
view,
in case you fall.
well, yeah. From my point of view, there are some conscious things you can do. Yes, of course, I'd love you to come along and do some hypnosis, but there are conscious things to do. There are some real things that you can use to make a difference. One is the target, absolutely focusing on the target, training your mind to think that way. You've just got to remember that you're up against the conscious mind. The conscious mind is that critical faculty. The belief is it takes, well, I've seen different figures, 28 days plus of repeating something, they reckon, for it to become a new habit because of that conscious mind. Ideally, want to get that out of the way, but there are things you can do, as I say, at that conscious level. It's just making it a habit so that you are going, right, I'm going to think about the target. Because it's so easy to go back to the way you've been doing things and going, oh, there's the water, it's hole 5. Because you start thinking about
Yeah.
hole 5 and the water on hole 3 or 2 or even 1, thinking, right, okay, I've got to get ahead of myself because I'm going to drop it in the water on hole 5. So it's just catching yourself when you're doing that, being mindful and aware enough to go, actually, I want to think differently. I want to change that way that I'm thinking about things. And it will start to make a difference, as I say, without hypnosis and other things going on in there, just by making that conscious change. I was thinking of a few things because we made a note down here about case studies, and I was just trying to think about a few different things that where I've worked with people. The most common thing I've said, as I mentioned, is people who come to me with the yips. But there are also some things that may be a little bit more unusual sometimes. Often it's being watched, but also it can be becoming too obsessed with things. I remember one particular client coming to me, and there was something about their grip that made their swing really unorthodox. The swing coaches were all saying, "No, that's terrible. You can't do it like that." And we were having a conversation. Can I help with that? Potentially, yes. but it might be a physical thing that's going on there. And after a while, I said, well, what are your shots actually like? And I'm pretty good actually. I'm getting the range, I'm getting the accuracy. I just don't like the way that it looks. And this guy's videoing everything and asking everybody, of course, watch my swing. What do you think? Tell me all about it. You watch the way that I do things. So again, was drawing very much attention to it. So the mindset challenge there wasn't actually changing the swing. It was going, let's not care about how it looks. Actually, let's relax you. Let's focus on the results because you're getting the results. Focus on the positives. And as a result of doing that, he got to the point where he didn't care about how his swing looked, but actually his swing improved anyway, because now he wasn't consciously standing there thinking about it all the time. He was able to just let it flow and get back the swing to where actually a swing coach would be more tolerant of it, maybe still not maybe thinking it's exactly right, but tolerant of it and not necessarily critical of it. So the mind can be really destructive. It can be so destructive, but it can also be very creative as well and be really productive in helping us get what we want from this. It'd be great. One of the things we said we were going to ask here as well, whether you feel more held back by body or mind. So if you want to pop in the chat, guys, whether you think it's mind or body for you that's holding you back. If you had to choose one or the other, you can put both if you want, but that's an easy option, isn't it, really, to put both? But yeah, just out of interest, what you guys think. If you are doing this on the recording, you can feel free to reply to the email and let us know as well. Okay, got a couple of votes for mind. And Janice, I didn't answer your question either, did I, about normal to see colours? So mind, okay. I think again these things go hand in hand, and sort of changing the mindset can help with the physical side. And as well, the other thing as well, I don't know where you guys all are, but for most of us, certainly the UK anyway, it's a quieter time now for golf, so it can be more thoughts around that physical side. So the mindset, of course, can be more around motivation. It can be around the goal is I'm going to be physically fit and able by the next season, or when I do get a chance to play in the winter. But that can also provide the motivation then to do the fitness, to do the exercises that Janice has been talking about, and to do those workouts and things. So again, mindset can help certainly with that side of it. Is it normal to see colours? Yeah, it is. Some people get colours. Some people get a very vivid vision of their place and then transpose that nicely onto the course as well. So yeah, there's no right or wrong way at all with hypnosis. There's no way of knowing. So there's no way of knowing. One to one, you can get people to open their eyes and notice how they feel physically, because there's often a different physical feeling to being hypnotized. And that's one of the things I tend to do. I'm quite into hypnotic phenomena. It's less easy to do that in a group, particularly where you're making a recording, because if we have a little eyes open section in the middle of it every time you do the recording, you can open your eyes at that point. So it's a bit of a waste of doing that. But normally I would be getting people to notice how they feel, and also to feedback to me what they're getting. Have you got a nice place? Oh no, I'm seeing colours. Great, that's fine. We can work with that as well with what you're getting. So yeah, it is quite normal to have that. So a quick reminder from me what you're going to get, and then over to you, Janice, with what you're going to send out as well, either by me or directly. But so I'm going to make this into a recording. I'll send that out hopefully tomorrow when I've just top and tailed it, tidied it up for the beginning and end. In the email for that as well, there'll be a link for an audio recording, which is a bit more polished version of what we've just done, with a little bit of music in there as well, and a link in there if you want to have a chat. Janice, you're welcome to share your links with me, and I can put them all in one email, or you can email out yourself, whichever you want to do. But yeah, there'll be a link in there to catch up with either of us as well. What are you sending out, Janice?
So I'll be sending out a link to grab a free ebook for you, and then also a link if you want to do a full golf fitness assessment. I do that for free online, and then a link actually to my website if you want to do the 4 assessments on your own. That'll be available to you as well. And I did want to add one more thing. When I work with golfers and work with other teaching professionals, you can take a lot of lessons. However, there's a lot of times if you can't get into different positions that your golf coach wants you to get into, a lot of times it's because you have some kind of restriction. Or if you are, someone who loves to buy new clubs because you just know that club is going to make you hit it farther, technology can only take you so far. And a lot of times it's your body structure or lack of different things happening in your body that I can definitely help with. So that way you're not spending hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars on new equipment that really doesn't help you at all. Because I have a friend who actually just spent a bunch of money on new PXGs and it did not help his game at all. It actually hurt it. And it's because he's not looking at the physical side of his body at all, which he needs to do. And actually, Steve, I probably need to introduce him to you because he does need you too. He's got a
Okay,
lot
we
going
can
on
do
up
that.
here that,
Yeah,
yeah, he's got a lot going
yeah,
up in the mind.
absolutely. Yeah, no, that's, I think it's played in the mind, isn't it, before anywhere else? But you've got to have
Yeah,
that physical backup as well for it. Guys, anything else from you, Janice? Otherwise, I'm gonna send out an unmute request if anybody's got any questions.
I'm
Feel
good.
okay. I'll send it out because we did lock the mute. So there's an unmute. You don't need to unmute, but if you want to unmute and ask any questions, feel free. So you've got us to here as a captive for you to ask us any questions that you like. Boris, you've unmuted.
Yeah, just thank you very much for this evening. Found it very interesting, useful. Enjoyed the hypnosis and the exercise. Thank you, Janice. No, I don't think I have any questions at the moment. It's certainly things there to work on over the winter.
Thanks, Boris. Thank you. Richard, how are you?
No, I think that I find that I talk myself into having a bad round. I've got a bit of sciatica at the moment, which I'm getting some treatment for. But I find that I do two things. I can talk. I think I've got sciatica. That means I'm going to play badly, and sort of give myself an excuse for playing badly. And there's one hole at the course that I play at that I've struggled with, and all my playing partners are struggling with, and we've convinced ourselves that it's the course designer's fault and not ours. And it's just on the turn. It's the ninth, and it's become sort of a what you want to call it, sort of a demon hole for all of us. And I think some of the problem is as we're getting there, we're all talking ourselves into playing badly, and we all fulfill that prophecy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our nature. We don't want to admit that we've got anything wrong. We don't want to admit that it's our own fault. And yeah, okay, there's a physical thing going on there, but it's built into us. It's a sign of weakness. Coming back to us, you're living in packs and tribes. We don't want to be weak. We don't want to go, oh, I can't really do that thing. We will make other excuses, or I went out hunting and there was no food for us there today. They must be doing something else today. It wasn't the fact that I threw my spear and missed every time. I'm not going to admit that, because that makes me weak and that puts me the lower down the thing. And that's still inside of us, I'm sure. The belief around the subconscious mind is it's not changed since those days. It's not changed since a saber-toothed tiger would be sitting outside my cave door, and it treats things, embarrassment, humiliation, potentially like that. So yeah, we make excuses. We do it. So it's built into us. It can be changed. Sounds like probably physically. Sounds like you're doing something now. Maurice, good to see you. Thank you. Thanks for coming along. So it sounds like it's probably physically probably doing some stuff. There might be other things, I don't know, maybe that Janice can help you with there as well. But yeah, of course, mindset. Yes, there's definitely changes there that can be made, of course. But yeah, sometimes it's just accepting that bit is more difficult than anywhere else, rather than it be the course designer's fault, can start to help to change the way that you deal with it.
Yeah.
Keith, how are you?
Yes, fine. No, I think my issue is just having clarity and retaining simplicity of thought all the way through. I overcomplicate thinking, I keep telling myself I'm too intelligent to be a good golfer because I've got all these thoughts going on in my head, and that's what stops it. It's not, if I can retain the clarity, and that's about what I should be doing, as opposed to like, well, that didn't work that happened last time, so I need to do this time, and then you know what I mean. It's just sort of that's the challenge.
Getting in the zone really is, yeah. So you're getting in the zone, you're just on it then and playing consistently rather than it being that overthinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll be following up with everybody as well. So,
Mhm.
so yeah, quite happy to have a chat about it. But we'll get the recording out and say come back and use that as well, because the more you use it, the better it gets anyway, without it being specifically focused for you. And then we can always have a chat about maybe something more specific.
Yeah. All right. Great. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. It's been great to see
Okay,
you. And
yeah.
yeah, as I say, you're free to go now, I think,
Okay,
unless Janice has got
great.
anything else to add. But thank you.
I'm good.
All
I'm
right.
good.
Great.
Thank you so much for coming, guys.
Great. Thank you. Bye.
Take care, guys. Cheers now.
Bye.